In Module 1, we talked all about choosing the right vehicle for your lifestyle. We compared Sprinters, ProMasters, Transits, and more, and also talked about all the pros and cons of different approaches to building out your van. In this module, we're going to help you determine your priorities so you can plan a smart, functional layout. We'll talk about how different floor plans accomplish different goals and the critical systems that make the difference between car camping and van living. We will also go over all of the major components and parts that are used in van conversions, from flooring to insulation to electrical systems and more, so you'll have all the necessary information you need to make decisions about your own conversion. In the resources area of this module, you'll also find a list of some of our favorite products and components. First, 2 of the essential things you need in order to be able to live off the grid are water and power. So in this module, you'll also figure out how much of these 2 things that you want, and then you'll be able to plan your van around that. Before we dive in, let me remind you why this is so important. In Module 1, I shared a bit about the conversion company that built out my first van. As I mentioned, we designed the entire layout first without discussing how much water I wanted in the van. After we got too far along in the build, we then realized that we could only put 10 gallons inside the van, and considering my van had a full indoor shower, 10 gallons really didn't seem like enough. So the builder put another 15-gallon tank under the van outside. This made the plumbing overly complicated, and that exterior tank didn't have any climate protection, so it was pretty useless in the winter. My layout also didn't have extra room for me to store additional 5-gallon jugs inside without them being in the way. So this was a huge lesson and taught me what key aspects of the van build that you need to think about before you dive in, and what decisions are important to make before starting your conversion. We'll be walking through each of these aspects and considerations in this module. Okay, so with that said, let's start by talking about your priorities. Before you dive into planning your conversion, first you'll need to rank your priorities and decide what's important to you. We already started to think about this in the Evaluating Your Lifestyle worksheet in Module 1. So if you haven't filled that out yet, now would be a good time to do so, because in this module we're going to get even more specific. With less than 100 square feet of living space, you need to decide what gear and other stuff you want to have inside the van and what you will be using the van for. By narrowing down your priorities, you'll ensure that your build will accommodate everything you need and want while efficiently using the space. So think about your current day-to-day lifestyle and make a note of what's important to you. Living out of the van on the weekends or traveling and living in it full time does mean that you're going to have to sacrifice some creature comforts, but not all of them. If waking up in the morning and having fresh espresso is something you savor, make that a priority. If having a designated toilet area in the van is a must, add it to your list. What's important to one van dweller might not be important to another. So it helps to visualize your ideal day from start to finish and think about, what do you do upon waking up? What does the rest of your day look like? What sort of living space will you be comfortable in, not just for a couple of days, but for a long time? And do you care more about storing mountain bikes or having an enclosed shower? A permanent bed or a big dinette where you can entertain? A nice big galley or a nice big workspace? A shorter, more maneuverable van or more interior space? Now let's move on to storage space. Gear takes up a lot of room in the van, so as part of the planning process, you should make a list of every single thing you want to bring with you, and I mean everything. Then ask yourself, how much do I use these things at home? If you never kayak at home because it's a hassle, you're probably not going to kayak much in the van either. Sure, you'll have more places to access with your kayak, but it still requires shuffling things around in the van and taking the time to make it a priority. For instance, last summer we had 2 big inflatable paddleboards in the van, in the garage. Every time we wanted to go paddleboarding, it took an hour to pull the boards out, inflate them, get ourselves situated, and then carry them down to the water. As it turns out, we didn't really end up using them all that much, and those big boards took up valuable space that could have been used for something else. So you really need to think hard before you add every single idealistic item to your list. Below this video, you'll find a starter list to get you pointed in the right direction. Be selective about what's truly important to you and brings the most joy to your life. You'll be surprised how quickly gear and even clothing can add up in your van, so make a list of your own and start narrowing it down. As a bonus, I've included my full packing checklist as a downloadable document, which I'll link to down below the video. Your homework for this lesson is to go through that item by item and create your own packing checklist based on your priorities using the blank template we've provided. Now that you've thought about some of your priorities and what you'll potentially want to bring along in the van, it's time to think about your floor plan. Deciding on your ideal floor plan is one of the biggest choices to make in the early stages of your planning. One floor plan is not superior to another. It's truly a matter of preference and what will work for you based on what sort of lifestyle you're going to be living. Here are a few questions to ask yourself to help you decide with which layouts will work for you and your everyday needs. Will you be traveling solo, as a couple, or a family? Do you have a pet coming along? Is maximum storage a priority for you, or do you prefer an open floor plan with more spacious living space? Do you want a designated sitting area or workspace? Will you have a built-in bathroom with a shower, or do you just need space for a toilet? Or maybe you don't want a toilet at all. Do you want an interior galley, or do you plan to always cook outdoors? Do you want a permanent bed or a convertible one? And do you want a large garage area to store your gear? Selecting a bed style will influence the rest of your floor plan. So we will spend some time weighing the pros and cons of different bed styles before planning the rest of your floor plan. Decisions about your bed will be closely followed by whether or not you want to have a bathroom and then the size of your galley. The most common questions that come up around a floor plan usually revolve around storage, bed style, number of people, and personal preferences. So spend some time visualizing your day-to-day in different floor plans and decide what will be best for you. I suggest prioritizing a functional floor plan over an aesthetically pleasing one. We'll be sharing some photos of different setups throughout this module so you can see a variety of different floor plans and setups in action.